Once upon a time, in a big kingdom of Amanze, there lived a very handsome and proud king. He treated his subjects with kindness, but when it came to choosing a wife, he was very selective about the type of woman he must marry. He found all the women in the kingdom unattractive, uneducated, and not elegant enough to his liking. One day, the queen his mother suggested he find a woman in the kingdom, persuading him that there were many beautiful, intelligent, and loyal women in their land, and he just needed to put in the effort. But he refused, saying, "I haven't seen anyone that matches up to my standards, and I doubt I will ever see." To convince him otherwise, the queen organized a competition in the palace for Akunna. She urged all the eligible females who were going to attend to wear their best attire and be on their best behavior. When Akunna noticed that his mother had organized another competition on his behalf, he was enraged and told his mother that he saw it as a waste of time. He told her to stop and allow him to find a wife for himself. His mother decided to give him some time to make his own choice. She was worried for him as he was getting older without an heir to the throne, and she hoped that he would make a better choice in choosing a wife. Wandutor was a beautiful fair-skinned girl who lived with her father, Mazenana, and her mother, Amoge, along with her little brother, Kenechukwu. Wandutor was very responsible, respectful, and humble, and she had the qualities any man would want in a wife. She could cook delicious food, clean the house, and also be supportive. These were just a few of her qualities among others that men actually desired in their women. Her mother made sure to direct her in the right path. While other maidens were busy throwing themselves at their king who was searching for a wife, Wandutor was sure he had no intentions to marry any of them, because if he wanted to, he would have chosen one from the numerous competitions his mother had held on his behalf. Wandutor focused on helping her family to get a better life and prayed to God to bless her with a wonderful man who would take care of her, love her, and invest in her, and she would do the same for him too. One calm evening, the queen mother was taking a stroll when she saw some maidens bullying a girl. She could hear them say horrible words to her, calling her family poor and wretched. The queen intervened, cautioning the girls and warning that such behaviors were not allowed. She enlightened them on the consequences if such behavior continued. She took Wandutor to the palace to calm her down as she was crying. The queen mother knew how she felt, and she knew that those horrible words could lower her self-esteem. They had a conversation like mother and daughter, while the queen encouraged her. When they finished talking, the queen not only noticed Wandutor's beauty, but her intelligence as well. The queen had already taken a liking to Wandutor and decided to monitor her to see if she would make the perfect wife for her son, Akunna. The queen told Wandutor to visit her anytime and that she would send someone to get her if need be. The next day, the queen sent a palace maiden to bring Wandutor to the palace. When she got there, the queen gave her new sets of beautiful clothes and beads she had got for Wandutor. She gave them to her as gift. Wandutor thanked the queen profusely, and to show her appreciation, she would come to the palace to do chores for the queen. She would clean her room, do her hair, and even sing for her. The queen had two sons, Akunna, the king, and Arinze, the youngest. Wandutor was now like the daughter the queen never had, and with time they grew closer and closer. One day, Wadi came to the palace to do chores for the queen. When she found so many gold coins under her bed, she picked them up and put them in a jar. This had been a regular occurrence, and she was starting to think the queen was doing it on purpose. While she came to the palace frequently, she sometimes saw King Akuna, and when she greeted him, he never answered or spared her a glance. Wanduto thought it was rude to ignore someone's greeting. A wave or a smile would have sufficed. During one of Wanduto's visits to the palace, the queen mother asked her, "What do you think about my son Akuna? Do you like him?" Wanduto smiled and said, "Who wouldn't like King Akuna? He's so handsome and an intelligent king. I like him, my queen, but he has never looked at me or answered any of my greetings. And I am not one to throw myself on anyone, especially a proud king as Akuna. I'm sorry for my choice of words, my queen, but that's exactly how I see it. I have my pride and honor to protect." The queen smiled and said, "It's okay, my child. All I want to know is if you liked him, and I have gotten my answer. So leave the rest to me, my child." The queen loved Wadi and knew she was the best choice of wife for her son, Akuna. She had tested Wanduto in various ways, and she had passed every time. These tests do not guarantee a good person, but the queen had studied her, and her humbleness and kind spirit could not be faked. The way she helped others with the little she has, she is indeed queen material, the queen thought. Before the week was over, the queen talked to her son about Wadi, but he completely turned her down. "Mother, the kind of wife I want is not in this kingdom as a whole. I want an elegant, beautiful, intelligent princess, not just any maiden, but a maiden from royalty," he said to her. One day, King Akuna went to the annual King's Summit. While he was there, he met a young princess who had come with her father. Akuna took a liking to her, and within a short period of time, he proposed to her and she agreed. He married her and they returned to his palace. His mother was surprised as they had never discussed the marriage, but she welcomed her daughter-in-law. Wadi was not happy when she heard that the king had returned with a new wife. She knew her place and would not force herself into where she was not wanted. Princess Adako, Akuna's new wife, was beautiful and elegant. Many maidens admired her beauty, including her glowing dark skin. Adako was not one to be stressed with anything, including her duties as queen. She aimed for a comfortable life, either shopping for new clothes and jewelries or traveling to different places, spending her husband's money. A year had passed, but there was no sign of pregnancy. Unknown to Akuna, Adako had been taking a herbal mixture that prevented her from becoming pregnant. She did not want to get fat or lose her figure due to pregnancy. Akuna thought it was normal and that with time she would become pregnant. He did not want to bother her as he loved her and did not want to make her uncomfortable with pregnancy requests. 2 years later, he took another wife and brought her home. His mother was not pleased with him. She said, "You cannot just see someone and in a few weeks you marry them. I am so disappointed, Akuna." 5 years had passed. None of his wives had conceived, and they were not bothered about it, but Akuna was. He was almost 32 and he had no child, no heir to his throne. The queen mother was not comfortable with the situation. Anrize, who had gotten married 3 years after his brother, already had a child and was expecting another. She talked to Akunna if he could consider marrying Nwaduto, as she knew Nwaduto to be a good girl and they had a good relationship together. This time, Akunna agreed with his mother's opinion, which surprised the queen, as she realized that Akunna was indeed bothered about his childlessness. The queen invited Nwaduto to the palace, but when she heard what the queen had to say, Nwaduto politely refused, saying that she was no longer interested in marrying Akunna. All efforts made by the queen mother to convince Nwaduto proved futile. One afternoon, Nwaduto paid a visit to the queen mother. When Akunna saw her, he couldn't stop looking at her. She was so beautiful and her smile was contagious. He wondered why he hadn't noticed her all this while. Pride, his subconscious reminded him of how proud and rude he had been towards the maidens of the kingdom. Nwaduto was laughing at something the queen mother had said. None of Akunna's wives had ever spent their time with his mother, and seeing how happy his mother was with Nwaduto made Akunna feel warm in his chest. He decided that he would not rest until Nwaduto was his. On several occasions, when he tried to talk to her, she always found an excuse to leave, and when he ordered her to stay, she barely said anything, which made him angry. He begged his mother to convince Nwaduto to marry him. Akunna even went as far as talking to Nwaduto's parents, and they accepted the proposal, but they wanted their daughter's approval before anything else. Seeing that the king was serious about her, Nwaduto agreed to marry him. After the marriage, Akunna never wanted to leave Nwaduto's side. She was funny, open-minded and very supportive, and their love bloomed like the tree by the riverside. They cared deeply for each other, and Akunna felt an inner peace in his heart whenever he spent his time with Nwadi. 2 months into their marriage, Akunna fell seriously ill. No treatment was working, and when they visited a seer, she told them that nothing could be done and that the only solution was to find the legendary white lion far away. They had heard stories about the white lion, but no one knew if it truly existed or where to find it, as the rumor was that it inhabited the forbidden forest. Everyone was scared to go look for something they weren't sure existed. Since Akunna was sick, his wives took turns caring for him. But one morning they woke up to find Ngozi, the second wife, gone with her belongings. Not long after, Adaku, his first wife, openly said that she could not continue the marriage, stating, "I cannot be a maid to a sick man that I don't even know if he will survive." And she left, leaving only Nwaduto to care for Akunna. Nwaduto had given a lot of thought to the legendary white lion, so she decided to embark on the journey. She promised to return, begging Arize's wife to help her take care of her husband as the queen mother, and she took the necessary things before she left. Nwaduto walked for many days. She saw different strange beings, but they did not harm her. Instead, they made way for her, which was strange. She walked until she reached a large river, and there was no boat around. Suddenly, a boat appeared on the water, and she entered it, soon arriving on the other side. She then walked for a few more hours and saw a cave, where she decided to spend the night. As she lay down, she began to cry about her husband and family she had left behind in the kingdom. Suddenly, something out of the ordinary happened. The legendary white lion appeared. She was surprised, and then it spoke. I have seen your tears and felt the pain in your heart. What is it you seek, my child? I seek healing for my husband, Wadutor replied. The white lion said, Akuna, your husband, had indeed made many wrong decisions. The sickness was just a means by the gods to filter the wrong people away from his life and bring back consciousness to him. To restore him, you must go to the highest mountain to the west and get the rarest flower that grows there. Bring it home, make an incense, and your husband will be fine. The lion gave Wadutor a pearl to guide her and said, I know you are curious about my nature. I was caused by my Creator to remain like this forever because of my greediness and quest for more power. Therefore, I am here to give wisdom and build those who seek it with a genuine heart. Wadutor bid him goodbye and left to get the flower. Then she returned home and did as he instructed. When Akuna woke up and was told about everything that had happened, he was glad, and the love he had for Wadutor grew. He thanked God for giving him a wife like her. She soon discovered that she was pregnant, and Akuna's joy knew no bounds. The morals of this story: decisions made without thinking are likely to go wrong. One must think and analyze before making an important decision, especially something like marriage that involves a lifetime commitment. Sometimes the best things are close to us. We just have to observe to notice. Having faith and staying hopeful even in the face of adversity can lead to positive outcomes. Appreciating one's spouse and expressing gratitude can deepen the love and appreciation in a marriage. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you in our next one. Bye.